friends, it's Jacqueline here. In today's video, I'll bring you my review, demos, swatches, comparisons, and this makeup look using the brand new Pat McGrath and Bridgerton collection. But before we get started, and if you're new here, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. And now, if you want to know all the details about this collaboration between Pat McGrath and Bridgerton and how I achieved this look, then just keep on watching. Finally, my order of Pat McGrath and Bridgerton collection arrived. I placed my order right on the date of the launch, December 26th. But actually, you know, funny story here. Well, I was on vacation, I was on a trip, and I had completely forgotten. And at the moment that I realized, oh my goodness, the Pat McGrath and Bridgerton collection has launched today, I thought immediately, you know, it's gone. I'm sure I'm not gonna be able to get my hands on it. And then I entered to the website and it was still there, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I went ahead and placed my order, and right now when I'm filming this video is mid-January, so it has taken a little bit of time to arrive, but nonetheless it is here. And I'm excited for this collaboration because although I didn't watch the show Bridgerton, which is a show from Netflix, I know it was a great success, and I know there's a lot of fans of Bridgerton. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about the show, but because I was gonna review this collection, I decided to kind of like dig a little bit into it, kind of get to know what was all about, just to kind of like give me an idea of what was the inspiration for the actual makeup that Pat McGrath had created. So this collection comes with an eyeshadow palette which has 6 different shades, and also 2 single highlighters. Aside to that, there is a trio which comes with 2 existing blushes as well as 1 existing highlighter. I decided to pass on the trio because I do have the blushes, so I said, you know what, I don't wanna waste, you know, either my money or also product that at the end it will go, you know, to complete waste, aside that I was getting the 2 single highlighters. So anyhow, friends, these products, they are all made in Italy, which this is exciting because before, every time that we have seen a 6-pan eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath, they have always been made, you know, in US with imported ingredients. But these ones right here, everything is made in Italy, which makes me really excited. The shelf life is equal for each of the products, 18 months. And here we go. Let's start first with the eyeshadow palette. It definitely looks very, very nice. And then on the back, you have the details of the ingredients. Here is this Netflix. What a huge collaboration. And by the way, I will be leaving the link of this collection as well as the rest of my makeup, everything on the description box below for your convenience. If you click the link, it will take you immediately to Pat McGrath website where you can actually add your email address because this collection is coming back again. I know it's sold out, but it's coming back again. We don't know when. So if you're interested, I will highly suggest you to enter your email address so that way you're notified as soon as it comes back in stock. Okay, my friends. Now, if you watch my last Will I Buy It video, which was uploaded back on December of 2021, not too long ago, just a couple weeks ago, I mentioned it that I wish there was a little bit of a missed opportunity to have made this eyeshadow palette into a mothership palette with this type of mirror-like compact, kind of like what they did with Star Wars, and in fact to make it kind of like this purpley or periwinkle. And I actually remember that Pat McGrath did a collaboration with one retailer, I think it was Bergdorf Goodman, where she had a re-promote mothership palette, but the casing was purple. It looked gorgeous. I was tempted so many times to get it just because, you know, wanting to have it in my collection, but I decided to, no, you know that you don't need to do that extra expensive. But anyhow, friends, let's try this eyeshadow palette. So the unicorn and the inside of the palette, they are pretty much the same. This is the palette itself, is made out of cardboard, and there you go. This is it. On the back you have the name of the eyeshadows, the details too. And now let's open it up right here. Ooh, look how beautiful this look. And by the way, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I do film in natural light. Today is kind of like cloudy from time to time. I see the sun coming and going, so I hope that by doing these videos like these, it will actually serve you to really see how the products look like if you were looking at them in person. This shade right here looks gorgeous. It seems like it's a natural shade, which is not common in a 6-pan palette from Pat McGrath, because you see it does have a little bit of that light blue, a little bit of lavender tone, kind of like periwinkle tone, and then we have these two kind of like pinky shades that you can actually use them as a blush if you want to, and they seem to be of like a baked gelée formula. We will see when I swatch them, and they do have the B embossed on them. Really, really beautiful. So pretty. And then you get a nice size mirror, and here underneath the mirror it says "Flawless, my dear." Little message from Pat McGrath. And then the collection came with 2 Skin Fetish Sublime Skin highlighters. Packaging the same kind of design, which is, you know, very cohesive with the line. And then let me show it to you. This one right here is the first one, Xtreme Gold 002. And oh wow, if this is yellow. Really yellow in tone. Very, very yellow. I really love the embossing though, with a little angel, you know, trying to hold or going towards the crown right there. It's lovely. And I'm actually really happy that she came out with this kind of shade, because this will cater beautifully for those who have deep and rich complexions. On my complexion, it will look terrible as the highlighter because I'm just too light for that, but I can definitely use it as an eyeshadow. And now the other highlighter, this is something that I think it will suit my skin tone, and this one is Incandescent Gold 002. This is more of like a cool tone, kind of like pearly shade. Looks very lovely. The embossing is the same, and then on the front you find the Bridgerton crest, and it says Pat McGrath times Bridgerton, and you have a nice size mirror too. So anyhow, friends, I will be leaving again all the details of all the makeup that I will be using today on the description box below, along with the links. Right now I just have concealer, foundation, and you know, my brows. That's it. I don't have bronzer because I really want you to see each of the products. As far as the trio of blushes and highlighter goes, since the entire palette comes with re-promotes, I actually have the 2 blushes, and I do have the new highlighters to try. So I will give you definitely swatches, and then we take it from there. Let me show you one more time this beauty before I ruin it by swatching it. But I just want to see what type of formulations these are. Okay, so these are right here. It's very soft, very creamy. Ooh, this one is kind of like a baked gelée. This is a really nice formulation. Okay, this one is definitely an astral shade. Oh, look at that! Ah, this makes me super excited. That looks so beautiful. Okay, let me just go ahead and swatch it. And each of these shades, they do have names. So we have Iconic Ingenuine, Art of the Zoom, Regency Blue, Plan Regalia, Duchess Divinity, Love Match, Scott Barnes number 62 brush. Let's go to Iconic Ingenuine. And I'm going to take this shade and apply it above the crease. Art of the Zoom and Sonia G Mini Booster. And I'm taking this shade and apply it right on the crease, very lightly. Going to Love Match. I'm taking this shade on the outer third, but very lightly. I'm honest with you, I do not want to have a very red eyeshadow look. It's not my thing, but I really want to use the shades and try them, see the blendability of them. And so far, everything is blending really well, and I'm not having any fallout. BK Beauty 202 brush, and this shade I'm gonna apply it on the outer V. The shade is blending really well, and it's not having any patchiness. Now on this shade, I will suggest for you to apply it with your finger or to wet your brush, because it's a natural shade and therefore it's a little bit, you know, it has some particles of glitter. It's nothing that crumbles completely, but it actually, you know, there's some loose particles in it. So I'm gonna apply it with some MAC Fix Plus. I went ahead and applied some eyeliner, mascara, and I'm not completely done with the eye look, but I wanted to jump into the trio of blushes and highlighter. Now, this trio has all re-promoted shades. Two of the single blushes is Cherish, one of them, and then Nymphette. These two right here, which are more on the pinky tone. Very, very beautiful. And then also Venus Nectar as a highlighter. Now that highlighter is from the trio blush that came out during the holiday season of 2021. Now that one I do not have, but honestly I didn't feel like I wanted to add an entire trio to my collection when I was already purchasing two highlighters from this collection. I mean, like another third highlighter and then repeated two blushes. It just didn't make sense to me. So although if you follow me, you know I have done a review on these blushes, side-by-side comparisons. I have all of the blushes from Pat McGrath. Let me just show to you how it will look with this collection. So let's go first with the shade Nymphette, which is the lightest of all. And by the way, you know what? Let me go ahead and swatch it for you. I have here Nymphette. And then this is Cherish. And Nymphette is definitely like a muted pink, while Cherish is more of like a brighter, more like, you know, out there kind of pink, which I think, you know, you can definitely work with both of them. So I'm gonna go first with Nymphette and just apply it on the very front of my cheeks. A little bit on my nose, and then to the shade Cherish with my Hermes brush. Just gonna grab a little, and this I'm gonna take it a little bit more towards the back, and this shade right here will give you a big like flush to your cheeks, kind of like the look where you have been, you know, outside on the cold weather type of blush. And there you have it. Nymphette on the front, Cherish on the back. I think they are both really, really lovely. Okay, now let's go for the highlighters. I'm excited for these highlighters. I actually, from Pat McGrath Holiday Collection, her highlighter was amazing. And I honestly completely forgot to put it on the best of 2021 because that highlighter is one of my favorite ones. But let's go first with these lighter shade, which is Incandescent Gold 002. Let's give it a swatch right here. Ooh, this is such a pretty shade. I'm using a Sonia G mini cheek brush. Now this is a lovely shade. I thought it was going to be a little bit too stark for my skin tone, but actually it's not, and as you buff it, you can see it looks very lovely. You know, it's actually very pretty. I like this shade quite a bit actually. Okay, and with my Refer 03 brush, I'm going to take it and I'm going to apply it on my inner corner and then also on my brow bone. And the second highlighter on this collection is Xtreme Gold 002, and this is very extreme. very, very extreme. Okay, let's swatch it. Oh wow, look at that. It's a very like strong yellow gold. That's actually so pretty. It's very lovely. And I'm pretty sure that it will like contrast so well with those who have rich and deep complexions. Very lovely. Now let's compare it with the holiday highlighter Lunar Nude. And I'm gonna put Lunar Nude right in the middle. does have more of like a pinky undertone. And for curiosity, I have here Golden Nectar. I'm gonna take my Smith 253 brush. You know, it looks like dripping honey, so pretty. And I'm gonna use a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. And I'm gonna do a very fine line above of that blue shade. Pat McGrath Contour Lip Liner. 1995. Earth Angel. All done with the makeup. I went ahead and applied a little bit of bronzer. Again, all the details of what I'm using today will be on the description box below. And now into my final thoughts about this Pat McGrath and Bridgerton collection. Let's go ahead and start first with the eyeshadow palette. I have to say that all the shades perform really well. This shade is that shade of the eyeshadow palette, not only because it's an astral shade, it's that astral formulation that we find on the Mothership palettes, but with less quantity. As you can tell, the eyeshadow pans, they are very small. They are not tiny, but they are smaller. But I will have to say, this shade right here is just stunning, gorgeous. It really speaks about Bridgerton. It's just beautiful. Like any astral shade, I will highly suggest to apply it either with a wet brush or with your fingers. If you apply it with a dry brush, you may find just a tiny bit of fallout depending on the amount of product that you pick up. Tap your brush and that's pretty much it. Now, as far as the other shade goes, I have to be very honest with you. Although beautiful, if you're a person, okay, I'm a person who reviews makeup, so I do have an excessive amount of makeup, and I'm not saying it, you know, to be like, oh wow, I have so much makeup. No, you know, there's no pride about it. It's just the nature of the job that I have here on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram, and I do have a lot of these shades already from Pat McGrath. A lot of these mauvey pinky tones that, you know, my friends, these are my favorite shades. They are gorgeous shades. But I already have them on my Divine Rose eyeshadow palette, the first one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. On other palettes, even on the holiday release of 2021, I have these shades right here. So it feels a little bit repetitive, but if you are not a collector of makeup, if you have been eyeing Pat McGrath, if you didn't want to get the holiday palette of 2021 because there were, you know, too many eyeshadows, perhaps it was too big, and you are more into something smaller and you really like mauvey pinky tones and you're curious about trying the astral shade, this is a really good route to go about because it's beautiful. And this shade right here, as you can tell, is a gorgeous blue shade, but it's not too blue, it's not too intense that it will make your eye look like somebody had punched you. Nothing along those lines. I mean, it is a lovely shade. Now, as far as this goes, like I said, we have seen it time and time again. This shade right here, I have seen it before in other eyeshadow palettes from Pat McGrath, including the holiday one, that same formulation. So it is like, okay. Now these two shades right here, if you're not picking up any of the blushes from Pat McGrath, and if you're not picking up the trio of blush and highlighters from this collection right here, these two shades right here, they are a baked formulation that is very forgiving, very silky, and therefore it doesn't emphasize fine lines, texture, enlarged pores. So you can definitely use these two shades right here as blushes. And here you have a combination already of a lighter blush and a deeper blush. So this can cater, you know, for different skin tones, not only as an eyeshadow palette, but also kind of like a face palette. I mean, this shade right here, you can also use it as a highlighter. So there's definitely a lot of versatility on this palette right here beyond being an eyeshadow palette, which is great. But in terms of what it could have been done, like I expressed before in my Will I Buy It video, I would have done this eyeshadow palette as a Mothership palette with this beautiful, either, you know, this bluish periwinkle or kind of like a lilac tone. Like I said, kind of like the limited edition Mothership palette from Pat McGrath and Berthold Goodman. Just like that, it would have been amazing on that mirror casing. And then creating this right here, if I would have changed something, honestly, you don't need these two shades right here. Personally, I will have to say it would have been lovely to see a lilac matte tone, perhaps even a deep purple shade or a deep astral purple shade, also a very deep intense blue, perhaps another matte shade that it could be a little bit more neutral, maybe in the nudie brownie tone, but a little bit deeper. Honestly, I'm a little bit, and I mentioned it before to you, my friends, because I do have so many Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, I'm a little bit on the, it is too much of these, you know, kind of like burgundy, you know, tones. It's just a little too much. So I think there was so much potential. An astral shade that would have played with a little bit of pearl and green, like an aqua green in it. I think looking at Bridgerton, obviously I haven't watched the entire series, but on my investigation, I feel like those are the shades that were really part of the series and not all these like pinky mauvey shades. Hopefully it makes sense. That doesn't make of this palette a no-go. It's just simply saying how I will feel that this palette could have been better, mostly knowing that it's such a huge collaborating with Netflix. I mean, that is big. Now let's talk about the highlighters. Both beautiful highlighters. I was really impressed with the lighter shade because I honestly thought it was going to be too cool tone for my skin tone, that it was going to be too stark, and actually it's not. It blended really well. At the very beginning I thought, you know, oh, this is going to emphasize a lot of my texture, but as I was buffing it, no, all the opposite. Very nice, creamy. It melted in the skin. It gave a beautiful sheen to my skin, and I honestly love it. Now, as far as the deepest shade, I think this is amazing that she brought this gorgeous shade for those who have deeper complexions. I think that is fantastic. And obviously, a person like me with my skin tone, you don't need to grab this highlighter because it's going to be way too deep. Unless, I mean, if you like to play with color, then, you know, by all means, go ahead. For me, I will use it mostly, you know, as an eyeshadow, and I really love to have integrated it on my eye look, because definitely I will be using it more as an eyeshadow than as a highlighter, although I don't need all this amount, but you know, in a way to collect because of the beautiful embossing, I'm like, yes. But again, another missed opportunity right here, because I'm thinking, okay, she created another trio of 2 blushes and a highlighter. All by now they are re-promote shades, and I'm all like, well, what about if she could have brought in this kind of packaging, although I will have preferred, like I said, something more lilac in tone, something more along these lines right here, right, with the beautiful embossing. 2 unique blushes for this collection, and definitely not repeated shades, but yes, something along the lines of pink and perhaps even a purple tone. I mean, we know that when a purple blush is done the right way, it can be so beautiful. I mean, we have seen it done from Fenty Beauty and other brands, but on this amazing formulation, that would have been wow, stunning, amazing. I can just only imagine. And then lipsticks, I would have rather seen, instead of the trio of blushes, you know, a couple lipsticks like these with also a limited edition packaging. I mean, I would have loved to see a little bit more, something a little bit more exciting. Not that the products are not good, all the products are amazing. I will say, if you have an eye in the eyeshadow palette, go for it. You will not be disappointed. The performance is there. Also, the highlighters, the performance is amazing. And the trio of blushes and highlighter, although I don't have it, I don't think it will fall too far apart to this amazing formulation from Pat McGrath. The next that I wanted to see from Pat McGrath is a little bit more like, go out from the pinky shades because you already have too much on your repertoire, and bring us, you know, something different, something fun, something just completely different. Just take us away from that pink bubble right there to something just completely different. And hopefully this year she can bring us bronzers, because I'm dying to see bronzers from Pat McGrath. That will be amazing. Okay, my friends, this makes it for this video. I hope that you find it helpful, informative. I would love to know from you, have you tried any of these products from this collection of Pat McGrath and Bridgerton, or you have been waiting for reviews and you're planning to put a few items on your wish list now that this collection will be in restock? Do not forget, if you're interested in this collection, the link for the restock alert will be on my description box below. Do not forget to sign in there, and let's continue the conversation on the comment section down below. And while you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, also share with family and friends, and until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye bye.